Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I just wanted to go ahead and share with you guys some of my top fertility and getting pregnant fast tips, because I know that there are a lot of people out there who struggle a lot with infertility, and I myself have struggled with it in a couple different ways. With our first baby, my daughter Anastasia, it took us 17 months to get pregnant, and there was really no reason that we knew of as to why it wasn't happening. So I've dealt with the struggling to actually get pregnant part. And then last year, when we decided to try for baby number 2, luckily enough, we surprisingly got pregnant on the very first try. But literally within an hour or so of me getting a positive pregnancy test, I started to bleed. And unfortunately, I had a very early miscarriage. So I've struggled with getting pregnant and miscarriage as well. And it's just a really hard battle that a lot of people have to deal with. And a lot of people deal with it silently and don't really say much about it, just because it's hard to open up to people about it and talk to people and have them understand what you're going through, especially people that have already had children or they have never struggled to get pregnant or dealt with miscarriages or stillbirth or anything like that. So it can be a hard and a touchy subject to kind of just talk about. But my hope for this video is that it gives you guys some ideas and some tips and some tools that you can try and use with you and your spouse if you are trying to get pregnant, or if you are someone that is just thinking about trying to get pregnant soon and you want to be better prepared. So I'll be sharing all of my tips, products, advice, all of that good stuff with you guys. And I just want to say, of course, before I actually jump into this video, that I am not a medical professional. Everything that I'm sharing is obviously just of a general information nature. I'm not certified or medically licensed in any way at all. If you guys have any questions about fertility or what could or could not work for you in your situation, just ask your doctor to be sure. It's better to just double check with them because they are professionals. But all of these things that I will be sharing with you as far as products go are things that you can just get over the counter at Target or on Amazon or anything like that. And if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know that I have made a couple different videos talking about what I personally think helped us get pregnant. But I've had some more questions recently about how we got pregnant and that kind of thing. So I decided to just compile all of my products, tips, and advice into one video, so you guys can look back on this if you have any questions regarding fertility and pregnancy. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the products that I personally have used and I recommend. And this is the first product that I really recommend, and this is Maca Powder. And I actually heard about this from another YouTube mom. Her name is Cara Linnell, and I believe that she also struggled with infertility, and she recommended this and said that when her and her husband were taking this when they were trying, I think it only took them a couple of months of using this to actually get pregnant. So I decided to start using this when we decided to start trying for baby number 2. And you can basically add this to anything. And I would normally put it in my oatmeal. I would just get the instant oatmeal and just add, I think the serving size is half a teaspoon. And I would just put it into my instant oatmeal mix and then add water, and I add egg whites to my oatmeal to give it a little more protein, and I would mix it up and cook it, and I didn't even taste the difference. You can also add it into smoothies. You can also put it in coffee. I've tried it in coffee, and you can kind of taste the difference in the coffee. But if you don't want to taste it at all, I would recommend smoothies or oatmeal or something like that. And it says that it supports energy, vitality, and mood boosting. And it also says on the back that it helps with adapting to stress. It's good for both men and women. So if you are trying to get pregnant, I really, really recommend this. I believe I bought this for $8 on Amazon. I have it linked down below in my Amazon storefront so you can get the exact same one that I have. But this lasts forever. I'm not kidding you when I say it lasts forever, because I bought this a year ago and I still have that much left, and it was full up to here. So this is definitely something that I recommend because it's such an easy and affordable way to boost your fertility. It lasts forever, and both you and your partner can use it. The next thing I'm going to recommend is something that I started using probably, I want to say, a month or 2 before we got pregnant. It took us 4 months to get pregnant with Boston, my son that I'm pregnant with now. I'm 27 weeks. But I want to say, I can't remember the exact time that I started wearing it, but I believe I started wearing this about 2 months before I got pregnant with him, and I would especially wear it during my 2-week wait. But this is a fertility bracelet, and this fertility bracelet was made by my sister's sister-in-law, so basically a family friend. And she makes all kinds of jewelry like this, bracelets and earrings and that kind of thing. But it has all these crystals on it that are supposed to support fertility. And that kind of thing. Now, I'm not a crystal person. I don't have crystals all around my house. I don't like burn sage or anything like that. I just heard that they help, and at the end of the day, they're pretty and they do nothing to your body. It's not gonna hurt you in any way, shape, or form. So I figured I would give it a shot, and we got pregnant. So I'm not saying that these are magical crystals that are just gonna like make you get pregnant immediately the moment you put them on, but I always recommend this to people because it doesn't hurt at all. And like I said before, at the very least, they're cute, and it's just another thing that can help you at least try and boost your fertility. And I will link her shop down below. She's on Instagram. Her name is The Divine Lotus. The next thing that I'll recommend is pretty much a no-brainer, but I just want to throw it in there anyway, and that is to take prenatal vitamins. And they recommend that you start taking prenatal vitamins a few months before you start trying to conceive, just so it gets in your system and you get used to having to take a vitamin every day, because when you are pregnant, you do have to take prenatals every single day. But this prenatal vitamin is the Target brand, and these were only like $5. They're around $5. I don't remember the exact price, but they're a lot cheaper than some of the other ones. Now, if you don't mind spending the money on more fancy, more expensive prenatal, you can always do that. But at the very least, store brand, just regular ones work just fine, but there are some nicer brands out there. Like I think there's one called Rainbow Light, and Pink Stork might have some. I don't know, there's a lot of different brands that can range anywhere from like as cheap as $5 a bottle to like $30 a bottle. So it's really whatever your price range is. And the thing about it is that the more you spend, usually the higher quality, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it'll make you pregnant faster. It's just, these are the basic nutrients that your body needs to support your fertility and help you have a healthy pregnancy while you are pregnant. So at the very least, I would recommend getting just a store brand bottle of prenatal vitamins and start adding them into your daily routine. So these next couple of things that I am going to recommend are also linked down in my Amazon store, and that is pregnancy tests. Now, when you start trying to conceive, you can get really crazy about buying pregnancy tests. And this is what I was doing when I was trying to get pregnant with Anastasia, and that was almost a year and a half of buying pregnancy tests, which again, if you are trying to conceive, you know how expensive pregnancy tests can add up to. But I decided this time around I wanted to get these strip tests on Amazon because I had heard so many other people recommend them, just people that I knew were trying to conceive as well, and it just saves you so much money because it's basically just the strip part of the test that will show you the line of whether you're pregnant or not. And I don't know the exact amount of HCG that these detect, but it is a lower amount than like the digital ones, which I didn't know this until like probably 6 months ago or maybe earlier. But I didn't know that the digital tests actually need a higher concentration of HCG in your urine to detect a positive pregnancy, which basically means that the pregnancy hormone in your body when you are pregnant needs to be higher for it to show up yes on a digital, rather than these little strip tests where the amount can be lower and it can detect pregnancy sooner technically. Now, the only part with these is that, you know, you have to do the whole thing where you're squinting your eyes. If you guys watch my pregnancy test video, I had to do that with this because I had to make sure that I actually saw a line. And sometimes you think you see a line because you want to be pregnant so bad, but it's not really there. So that's the only downside of these, is that you do have to kind of squint and see if there is a line there. But the way I did it was I had these to take first. And if I thought that I saw a line, I would take a digital next. That way I wasn't just wasting the digitals over and over again. And I just think these are great because, like I said, when you're trying to conceive, you start testing as early as possible. I think I started taking a test at like 5 or 6 days past ovulation, which is way too early to get a positive on pretty much any pregnancy test. But I just really wanted to know. So it's good to have a big package of these. I think this one comes with 25, and these were only $8 on Amazon. So that's basically the price, like half the price of a digital test for 25 of these little individual ones. Like I said, I highly recommend these. I've gone through 2 packs of these, I think, from the time we started trying to conceive up until like I found out I was pregnant. But again, I just think they're really great, super affordable. And another thing I'll add on top of these, which I never got around to actually doing this, is that I think the same brand makes ovulation test strips, which can help you better like decide when you need to actually try and conceive a baby, because it can detect when you're ovulating, aka when you are most fertile and most likely to get pregnant if you have unprotected sex. So like I said, I didn't use the ovulation test strips. I never got around to it because it only took us 4 months, luckily, this time around. But if you're someone that has been trying for a while and you don't know if you can figure out your cycle, or you're not sure about, you know, whether you ovulate late or early, I definitely recommend getting ovulation test strips to kind of see where your body is at as far as that goes. And I'll link those down below as well so you guys can check those out and see if that's something that you might want to purchase. Okay, so those are all of the products that I have. And now I have just a couple of like tips and tricks that I personally have used and I believe in. So the first thing that I will say is that when you are trying to conceive, it can get very, very stressful. And a lot of people think that, you know, when you're trying to conceive, it's just like, oh, it's just fun. You just have sex like all the time and it's great and whatever. And it's like, when you are actively trying to have a baby and it's not happening, it's very heartbreaking, especially when, you know, if you're someone that was trying to avoid getting pregnant for whatever reason, whether you weren't financially stable or you weren't with the person that you wanted to have a baby with, or you just personally weren't ready for a baby. And then you actually try and it's not happening. It can be frustrating because, I mean, at least for me, I was thinking, well, what's wrong with me? Like, what am I doing wrong? Is there something not right? So that's the hard part of trying to conceive. And unfortunately, that can take a toll on your sex drive and wanting to be intimate with your partner. And it's hard because, you know, you want to be pregnant and you want to be close with your partner, but it's almost something that can drive a wedge between the two of you and make you feel like it's almost like a chore to have sex rather than actually enjoying being with your partner in that way. That is just something that I wanted to throw out there, is that when you're trying to conceive, I know that it's hard. I know that it can get really defeating and feel very like, just make you sad. It can make you sad because you're wondering what's wrong, what are you not doing right? And it doesn't make having sex with your partner fun anymore because you're doing it only for the purpose of a baby. And my best advice when it comes to that would just be to try not to let that happen. I know that it's easier said than done. Trust me, I know. And I feel like the best way that you can avoid this whole thing is to really just date your partner or your spouse. And that means like being romantic with each other, going on dates, like spending quality time with each other, giving each other massages, or just talking, or whatever it is you guys do that is your thing. Do that thing and then try and have sex. Don't just, oh, you have to be home at 7 o'clock tonight because I'm ovulating at that time and we're gonna have sex. Because at the end of the day, you wanna make a baby out of love. And when you're stressed out and you're not enjoying it and you're sad, that is not good for you or your body. And honestly, when you're stressed out more, it makes your body not want to get pregnant because it's worrying about trying to control your stress levels. I know it's hard, but you still have to try your best to have sex often and enjoy that time with your spouse. Try not to think of it as just a mechanism for creating a baby, but actually enjoying the time with your spouse. It's something that I've struggled with a little bit, but to be honest, every time that we've gotten pregnant, it was when I stopped being so laser focused on getting a positive pregnancy test. Like, obviously I still wanted it, but I was just like, I want to enjoy this time with my husband and be close to him. That was when we ended up getting pregnant both times. So that is just my one little piece of advice about that. Again, I know some people don't want to hear that and I know it's hard, but this is coming from someone who has struggled with infertility in a couple different ways. And I know that there are people that have it way, way worse. But I'm just here to say that, like, I hear you and I see you and I feel you. And I know a little bit of what some of you might be going through. So with all that being said, that little piece of advice is to just have sex often and try to enjoy it as much as possible. Because at the end of the day, you can't get pregnant if you're not having sex. And usually if you only have sex once or twice a month, that's probably not gonna get you pregnant. So the more times that you have unprotected sex, the more likely you are to get pregnant. So now that my little sex ed class is over, I'm going to move on to this next little bit of advice. Again, that might be hard for some people to hear, but it's the truth, and I'm here to help you guys. I want to see all of you guys that want to be pregnant. So this next piece of advice is, if you want to get pregnant, you have to start taking care of yourself. And I know that this is a really touchy subject for people because for a lot of people, health and fitness and wellness is a really emotional thing for whatever reason, whether it's, you know, you use food to cope with your emotions, or you feel like you're not good at working out, so it makes you self-conscious, or whatever the reason is that you are not really taking the best care of yourself that you could be. I would say to just go into it with the mindset of, I'm doing this for my body and my future baby and for my future growing family. And I think when you look at health and wellness in a way of you're just trying to live a better life and not look skinny, that changes everything. It doesn't matter if you can do 15 push-ups or you just went on a 20-minute walk. It's anything that gets you closer to being healthier is good. I always try and like put that into people's minds when they ask me about health and wellness, because again, I've mentioned this before on my channel a million times, but if you're brand new to my channel, I am a certified personal trainer. So I've been in the health and fitness world for a while, and I know a little bit about what I'm talking about when it comes to this stuff. But taking better care of your body will definitely help promote your fertility. It will reduce your stress. It'll make your body run better. You'll just be more likely to get pregnant if your body is working the best it can. And this does not mean that you need to diet and only eat 1,200 calories a day and you have to start going to the gym 7 days a week and working out for 2 hours. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means wherever you're at, do whatever you can every day to make healthier choices. Whether that means, you know, you go to Starbucks every morning and get a Frappuccino, maybe skip Starbucks and just make your coffee at home with some light creamer and have a healthy breakfast before you go to work or whatever it is. Like, it's just little things every day, things that will help you feel better, make your body run better, and help you get pregnant faster. So that is going to wrap up my tips and tricks and advice on how to get pregnant faster. I know that this is a touchy subject and I know it's hard for a lot of people to talk about, and some of you might be thinking, you know, like, you don't understand my story, you don't understand how long we've been trying. I'm not a magical baby fairy. Like, if I could give everyone a baby that wanted to be pregnant, you have no idea how much I wish I could. But I just wanted to share these things with you that have helped me personally in my infertility struggles and pass those on to you to hopefully help you get pregnant in the near future if that is what you are trying to do. So I hope these tips and tricks helped you out. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys are currently trying to conceive and what some of the tips and tricks you have been using are, because I'd love to hear about that below. And if you guys did like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.
From my window, sun's coming up.